What's up, YouTube dweebs? Welcome to the Nonverbal Honors channel. And today I'm going to be talking about a band whose music has really impacted my life in a pretty significant way. Now, this band has some controversy around it, and I'm not going to get into that because today I specifically want to talk about the music and the impact that the music has made on my life personally. And it's a band that I think has impacted a ton of people. They have a really huge fan base, and it's kind of undeniable the amount of connection that their fans have with their music. And if you don't know by now, well, I mean, you probably do because you saw the title, but the band is brand new. And what I want to do in this video is I kind of want to start with some big concepts, kind of general concepts, I guess, and then I kind of want to narrow it down to some specifics of, songs, lyrics, different attitudes that have impacted me personally. And when I say I want to start out kind of broad or big or whatever, what I mean by that is I kind of want to start off with an idea or a conversation starter. And the reason I want to start with this is to kind of set the tone of, why this band is so important to me. And it all goes back to a conversation that I've had with several different people, with my brother, with some of my friends, kind of back around when I was in college, about 4 or 5 years ago. I remember having this conversation with one of my brothers specifically, where I was kind of talking about like sad music. And I was telling him, I love listening to sad music when I'm feeling sad. And he's like, what? What do you mean? That's bizarre. Why would you want to listen to sad music? That just makes you sadder. Why wouldn't you want to listen to happy music? And I was like, it kind of made me think a little bit. It's like, well, because that's what I'm feeling in the moment, so it makes me relate to it. I kind of thought it was weird that he would not quite understand that. And I said the same thing a little bit later to a friend or two where I was like, I like listening to sad music when I'm sad. And I kind of got the same reaction, like, why wouldn't you listen to happy music? Why do you want to keep feeling sad? And so I've thought about this. And the reason to me is that when I'm feeling lonely or depressed or sad, I want to listen to music that is relatable to the situation that I'm in. It's like talking to a friend. Like if you're really in a kind of a bad place, you're so sick of something that's going on in your life, or you're just kind of at a low spot, you want to talk to a friend who's going to listen to you and understand kind of your point of view and go, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, yeah, that sucks. I've had something similar happen to me. This is what happened, and I felt what you felt. It kind of, it just validates what you're feeling. I don't want to talk to a friend who is, oh, dude, you had a bad day? I'm so sorry. Wow. Hey, don't feel bad. Be happy. Dude, just cheer up, man. It's all good. I don't want to talk to someone like that because that feels disingenuous to me. And so that's why I relate to Brand New so much. And when I was in college, I was pretty lonely. And I'm not going to get into a bunch of details, but I was pretty lonely. There was a long period of time that was pretty rough for me where I felt like I didn't really have a whole lot of friends. I was having girl issues. I just felt like I couldn't get a date, or I just felt like girls didn't like me. The usual crap, which it sounds a little cliche to talk about it, but it's stuff that, everyone's gone through. And in those moments, I remember very distinctly, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't feel like expressing what I was going through to people because I felt like they wouldn't understand. And more than anything, I was just kind of afraid to be vulnerable. I would go on drives and I'd go drive up to the top of a mountainside overlooking the valley. And which again, that sounds pretty cliche, but I would drive there and it was just a quiet spot and I wanted to just think. And I would listen to Brand New. Specifically, I would listen to the album The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me. And I would listen to that album specifically on repeat because it felt like when I listened to that album, I had a friend who understood exactly what I was going through. It was really therapeutic. It helped me contemplate and ponder why I was feeling how I was feeling. And yes, it did make me feel more sad. It did make me feel those emotions a little more intensely. But good. That was good. I think it's important to feel your emotions, not just feel depressed, but think about why you're feeling that way and to try to understand it. And that's what that album kind of brought out in me. I was able to be very introspective about why I was feeling the way I was feeling, and it motivated me to fix it, to find a happier spot. Now, that album specifically, The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me, I think has some of the most well-written music of kind of any band. And I'm a big Brand New fan, and I honestly love all of their albums. I really do. Brand New is kind of an album to me that doesn't have a bad album. Like, seriously, all of their albums are great. I just want to talk about the stuff that I have found the most impactful in my life, and that album, The Devil and God, has stuck out to me so much. And I want to talk about a few songs specifically. So there are songs like You Won't Know. You Won't Know starts off very calm and very just kind of mysterious, a little bit ominous. And then it goes through so many mood changes. That to me is a great song that kind of represents how you might feel going through these different emotions of, if you're sad, like you're kind of mellow, and then you get really angry about it, and then you just feel those emotions more intensely, and then eventually at the end it kind of resolves, and you feel, I don't know, maybe you feel a little more okay with it, like you kind of understood it more. That's how I interpret that song. And to me, it's kind of like a song where, at least in the lyrics, how I interpret the lyrics are kind of, if I do all these great things in my life, it's not enough for me to just do them. I want you to recognize it. I mean, that's a very loose interpretation of that song. I'm not going to dive into the lyrics, but that's how I kind of hear it. And it makes me think like, you know what? I don't need other people to validate what I'm doing. And a lot of times we can kind of get into that motion of where I only want to do something if someone else is going to approve it. I shouldn't be looking for that. I should be doing things that I want to do because I know it will make me a better person. And songs like Millstone, that song is one of my favorite songs. And especially, it's a very straightforward beat. It's not too complicated, but the lyrics are very powerful. And it's kind of like someone who had a great life, who did their best, did everything right, and was able to keep it all together, didn't have a lot of worries, somehow degrading into one of the lowest points in their life. And again, that's just how I interpret it. And kind of wishing, that person wishing that they could get back maybe to that better place in their life, or just realizing that they are a completely different person than that they once used to be. And maybe they're not quite proud of that. That's such a cool song to me because it's just, again, it's very mature. And it makes me kind of reflect on, how can I be the best person that I want to be? And maybe the lyrics aren't specifically saying all that, but those are the kinds of things that I'm thinking when I'm listening to these songs. And they've helped me just want to improve my life. And aside from that, I just think it's a great song. The bass line is really cool. The chorus is catchy. I love the bridge, how it takes a very unexpected shift. And yeah, I just think it's kind of special. And then one of the greatest songs, in my opinion, ever written, one of the greatest songs ever written is Jesus Christ. That song I probably put on more times than any other. And I think a lot of Brand New fans, yeah, that's kind of Brand New's maybe biggest song. I don't know. I think it's one of their best songs for a reason because it feels so relatable. It feels like someone is expressing their heart and their emotions, and you can empathize with that. And yeah, there's definitely some religious overtones in there. I think a lot of Brand New songs have some religious overtones, and that's not a bad thing, but I feel like it makes it more relatable in the sense that there are a lot of people who struggle with their beliefs and to make sense of the world around them and to try to follow what they feel is going to make them happy. And there's a lot of really good lines in this song. It's one of the best lyrically written song in my opinion because every line seems very well crafted and placed, and there's a lot of question asking in here, like someone praying to a god or you know a higher entity, right, trying to get answers to questions in their life that they're not maybe quite receiving or realizing, and maybe the frustration with that. There's a few lines in here that I love. Jesus Christ, I'm alone again. So what did you do those 3 days you were dead? Because this problem is going to last more than a weekend. And I don't know. I don't know exactly what that means, but it just has always kind of resonated with me. Like, hey, like, how did you figure it out? You seem to figure it out quickly. And not, I'm not talking about like God specifically. I'm just saying you look at someone else who maybe got their life together, like, you figured it out so quickly. How did you do it? Because my problem is going to last a while and I don't see an end in sight. And then lines like, I know you think that I'm someone you can trust, but I'm scared. I'll get scared, and I swear I'll try to nail you back up. So do you think that we could work out a sign so I'll know that it's you and that it's over, so I won't even try? So I read a lot there, but basically that's, another internal struggle I feel like a lot of people have. Like, can you just give me a sign? Therefore, I don't have to work for it. And I think a lot of people kind of have that mentality of, or just wanting of like, man, I just want things to just be figured out. I just want to know. And they don't necessarily want to put in the work to kind of fix their problems. That's just a very deep lyric. And then before that, I'm scared, I'll get scared, and I'll try to nail you back up. Like, just, I don't know, like, you're afraid to have people trust you. You feel like you're an imposter in a way. And those are just things that, like, I've kind of felt listening to this song, and like, there's someone who's kind of felt what I felt, and I interpret it in my own way, but it just makes me feel like, whatever I'm going through, I can get through it. And that's why I love this band so much, is because it has helped me kind of cope with things that I've dealt with in my past and get to a better place in my life. I think everybody needs a band or music that they can listen to when they're maybe not in the greatest spot in their life. And I think Brand New is one of those bands that, yes, it's sad music, but it's sad music that is relatable. And so that's why I like this band so much. And, their albums like Daisy and Science Fiction kind of develop along that introspective path, in my opinion, of really exploring some deeper thoughts and emotions. And their earlier albums like Deja Entendu, classic album, of course, a little more kind of pop punk and emo and rock alternative mixed together. But the reason I wanted to make this video and talk about Brand New is because of that initial conversation I mentioned previously, is why would you listen to sad music when you're sad? Well, in my opinion, I encourage that. I think it's important to feel your feelings and to understand them. That way, you can better recognize why you're feeling that way, or understand what makes you feel that way so you can avoid it or fix it or solve the issue rather than just guessing. I think there's so much music nowadays, like the top 20, that is so shallow and so vapid and doesn't really connect on any emotional level. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of there to be good for the moment, and that's about it. But bands like Brand New, I think, stand the test of time in terms of their music. Regardless of how you feel about the band itself, I think that begs another question: can you separate the band from the artist? But regardless how you feel about that, their music really is timeless, and I think has related to so many people for very good reasons. And yeah, you should check them out. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to subscribe, I would really appreciate it, because I want to talk about more music that has impacted me in different aspects of my life. And I think it's just fun to spark these conversations and understand different points of view. A lot of my other videos are pretty goofy, but I like to get deep sometimes. So I'll see you next time.